Right. Hello, I am Nathan Mueller, and this is The Other Side, the show where we talk to a beat writer on the other side of Western Kentucky's football matchups. Today, I'm here with Kyle Rowland from the Toledo Blade. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, obviously, Toledo coming off of a very interesting game against Kentucky. What's the outlook looking like on your side?
I think a lot of hype around Toledo entering the season. Obviously lost close to Kentucky, but Toledo just didn't play well. I think there's a decent amount of disappointment, certainly last Saturday and early this week. I think by the time Saturday night gets here against Western Kentucky, the team will be locked in, the fans will be excited, all that kind of stuff. But I definitely think a little bit of a lingering effect, just not really playing well and still having a chance to win, kind of makes it a little more disappointing than usual against Kentucky.
Yeah, of course. I was looking at the game, or I will actually watch that game. It looked a lot like a issue in run defense. Has there been any conversation about that recently or press conferences or?
Yeah, I mean that was something that was an issue at times last season for Toledo, especially teams popping some big runs and that huge 89 yard or 83 yard, whatever run it was in the fourth quarter, essentially decided the game. And the defense played well all day, especially the secondary. Zach Calzada had, I think, 85 yards. He only completed 10 passes, zero touchdowns, one interception. So, like, the defense kind of let them kept Toledo in the game, and then to have that run kind of in things like kind of added to the disappointment, I guess. But it's definitely been something that's been an issue at times. I think they're probably glad they're playing a team this week that doesn't run a lot and doesn't run it super well. But I think that strength on strength matchup, Western Kentucky passing, Toledo secondary, will be really fun to watch and to see kind of, which side gets the better end of that.
For sure, yeah. Our Western's running back room is very much by committee this
Yeah.
year. I think our leading rusher on the year has 74 yards. Just kind of a rough first two games for the running back room. There's a sense here in Bowling Green, kind of that this is the first real test for the Hilltoppers. Is that reciprocated at all over in Toledo?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. I mean for Toledo, it's not the first test because they played Kentucky
Well,
last
for
week.
sure, yeah.
But no, they know how good Western Kentucky is. I mean, number one, they played last year, they lost. So that right there kind of gets the attention. But yeah, I mean, I think there's great respect for Western Kentucky. Certainly from the coaches and players, a little different fan base wise, just because there's not a ton of familiarity. I mean, the teams had never played each other till last year. There's not a whole lot of overlap. I mean, a few years ago, when Western Kentucky was talked about being in the MAC, there was certainly a lot of excitement about that in Toledo. I mean, fans really wanted Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee to join the MAC, and obviously that ended up not happening. But yeah, I mean, I think there's tremendous respect, on both sides. I mean, I think these programs are mirror images almost of each other. I mean, they both win a lot. They both produce a lot of NFL players. I mean, not a lot of G5 programs do that. I think these are as consistent of G5 programs as there are. They maybe don't reach the heights of like Boise State, maybe Memphis, programs like that. But I mean, they consistently win a lot of football games. Tyson Helton, like Jason Candle, he's been there for a while. I think a lot of people are probably surprised both of those guys are still at their programs. But I think they have a really good thing going. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I've been excited for this series, kind of since it was announced. I wish Western Kentucky and Toledo played more frequently, quite frankly. I mean, they're not far away. So it would be nice to see them play in basketball as well.
Yeah, for sure. How is the football culture over there in Toledo? I mean, we can look up on, Google Toledo fan bases and stuff, but is there a very strong football culture around that team in the city or is
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, it's a very serious fan base, high expectations annually. I mean, the way I always describe it to people, I don't know where you're from, so I don't know if this will exactly help you. I went to Ohio State, covered Ohio State for many years, have covered Toledo now for I think this is my fifth season. I mean, I think Toledo is a mini Ohio State. I mean, the fans take it incredibly serious. There is the whole message board, social media culture. When they lose a game, everyone wants the coaching staff fired. Like there's true like heat and pressure on Toledo's coaches and players, and they hear about it. And when they play well, they also hear about it. So it's not like a one way thing, only when things go poorly. So yeah, I mean it'll be a great scene there Saturday. I mean they expect a near sellout crowd. I expect it to be loud. The pregame scene is really good. You know, tailgating lots are full. So yeah, I mean it's a very very fun for G5 programs. I would say Toledo's probably top 10 in terms of kind of the support, how much people care, and how they turn out at home games.
Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati, so I
There you go.
the
Yeah.
Bearcats, there's a lot of culture there. Looking at the quarterback rooms, over in Bowling Green, we got Maverick McIver, who is, eight passing touchdowns through 2 games, no picks, and a rushing touchdown. So he's killing it. You guys have Tucker Gleason, who had a pretty good game against Kentucky, all things considered. What's the word on him over there?
Yeah, I mean he's originally a Georgia Tech guy, transferred to Toledo in 2021. When DeQuan Finn was at Toledo, he was injury prone, and Gleason had to come in several times and played pretty well. Saved their season 2 years ago when they went 11-1 in the regular season. They were losing 23-7, I think, against Western Michigan when Finn got hurt. Gleason came in, played the game of his life, really, and let it come back. I mean, he wasn't great on Saturday. Threw an interception the second play of the game, deep in Toledo territory. That kind of just got the wheels off early, and they were never really able to recover from that. Last year was his first season as a full-time starter, and he did pretty well. I mean, good enough that Toledo was like a MAC championship level team. I mean, he was good enough for them to win it. I mean, obviously led wins against 2 power conference teams, Mississippi State and Pitt, but just threw some interceptions at inopportune times. He actually kind of had fumbleitis for a quarterback, way too many fumbles. The Western Kentucky game, he was great pre-weather delay, and then after the weather delay, not nearly as good. He has to play well. I think the offense needs to start fast against Western Kentucky. I mean, you mentioned Maverick McIver. I mean, I don't know if anyone in the country is playing as well as him. Whether the competition is good or not, I think is irrelevant. It's still, I mean, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, the amount of yards he's had. I mean, it's tough to do that against anyone. I think Tyson Helton always has great offenses. I mean, they get the quarterback OC combo from Abilene Christian. That kind of recipe he's had here these last few years, kind of getting these guys from the FCS, it's proven to be a really good thing. So I would be stunned if Toledo can just completely shut down Western Kentucky. That just doesn't really seem plausible, considering how well they're playing offensively and how tough it is just in modern college football to kind of just shut down an effective passing game. Certainly, I think they can slow them to the point where Toledo can win. But as I mentioned earlier, I mean, that is the key matchup, I think, in the game.
For sure, yeah. You did mention it earlier. The secondary and pass Western Kentucky offense will be a very interesting matchup to watch. Can you talk just a little bit about that secondary and some of the key players and who's on that secondary?
Yeah, I mean, 2 guys who more than likely will be drafted next year. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, he's a safety, really tall safety. He was the East-West Shrine Bowl actually named him National Defensive Player of the Week last week. He had 11 tackles, forced fumble recovery. I mean, he just kind of wreaks havoc. He's been great since the moment he stepped on campus. he can, play in coverage. He can stop the run. I mean, just kind of do it all your safety. Avery Smith, cornerback, was second in the nation last year in pass breakups. Another really, really good guy in that end. Nasir Bowers, another cornerback. He had an interception last week against Kentucky. So that whole secondary, I mean, by far the strength of the defense, could almost say even the strength of the team. I think it's going to be really hard for teams to pass well on Toledo. I know Zach Calzada is an SEC quarterback, played at Kentucky, beat number one Alabama while he was at A&M. I mean, I think that McIver is probably a better quarterback than him. I mean, the stats kind of bear that out in the FCS level and here, so far this year. So I think it'll be a huge, huge challenge for Toledo. D-line obviously will be important. I think you want to get some pressure on the guy. You don't want him to just have all day back there. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers line and the running back room has certainly struggled. So that matchup in the trenches will certainly be interesting. What's the what questions do Toledo fans have about Western Kentucky? What's the outlook? What's the key points that you guys are hammering home over there?
Yeah, certainly the much talked about, quarterback secondary matchup we've mentioned. I think a lot of it with Toledo is almost self-assessing. I mean, Chip Trainum, been a very familiar guy, especially at Toledo, because he played at Ohio State for a few years, and massive overlap between Toledo and Ohio State's fan bases. Heard so much about him this summer, and he really played well in the spring, and he was solid in the opener and proved that he can catch the ball pretty effectively out of the background, but he just wasn't maybe what they expected. Part of that may have been, limitations on Toledo's offensive line. So I think there's just kind of a mystery around him. Like, what exactly are we still going to get? I think Gleason is another one of those kind of question marks. I mean, Toledo, they've got great wide receivers. The tight end room is pretty loaded. So they have the playmakers to be effective on offense. It just kind of comes down to the quarterback play and how well the O-line can block, which I guess is the case for a lot of teams. And then defensively, I mean, how well will they kind of stop the run, maybe get after the opponent? The linebacker core is a little iffy. So, I mean, it's just always hard. I think after week one, there's always more questions than answers, even before the opener, just because it continues to kind of be mysterious and how much do you overreact or underreact? And then when you play an SEC team, a little bit of it is, well, like, would they be okay in the MAC? Like, is this just because you played an SEC team? So I think a ton more things will be answered because you have another quality opponent.
For sure. And that's all I got planned. That's all the questions I had planned. This is my first episode doing this.
No, you're probably
good. So, did you have any points that you wanted to talk about or that you would
not
bring
really
up?
I mean, I think I hammered it home. I mean, I just think that this is a incredibly underrated game. Honestly surprised that it wasn't picked up by like CBS Sports Network or I don't know, ESPNU or something, because I think there's two real quality teams. It's interesting. I was on there's a Group of Five podcast, really good guys that just, they know the G5 level incredibly well. And I think it was in June or July when I did that. And one of the guys said at that time, like, he thought Toledo and Western Kentucky were like going to be the two biggest kind of playoff contenders among the G5. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, so far, I mean, I know it's Sam Houston, North Alabama, but so far I think Western Kentucky has looked every bit like a team that can run through their schedule and be there, in November and December. So going to be fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Super excited for the game. Just thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Are you going by chance?
I will be there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I might. It depends on, we're sending somebody. We'll have somebody there.
All right. Well, say hi if you're there.
All right. I will. Have a great one.
Yep. See you. Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.